In this edition of Down to Earth, we will talk about some of the important aspects related to nutritional security. So the first is creating kitchen gardens and improving the nutritional status of the family. So Carry to Kitchen is one such NGO established in Delhi, which has been working for the same. In Sikkim, recently a glacial lake outburst was witnessed on 4th of October, and this created a flash flood. The Chungtang Dam, which is one of the largest HEB projects, released nearly 5 million cubic meters of water from the reservoir. Some of the most heavily inundated areas include Chungthang, Mangang and Zongo. Now, the previous studies have cited that there might have been tremors of earthquake in the regions of Nepal before it, which could be responsible for the same. Dengue cases across the globe have been burgeoning. In Bangladesh, more than 2 lakh cases were cited. The same scenario was seen of tripling numbers in the regions of Cambodia, Jamaica, Vietnam. There have been increase in the cases in Sudan and Peru as well. Now, the spread of the disease is mainly because of the warm phase of El Nino, which creates a good atmosphere for mosquito breeding, and this has been highlighted by WHO prior as well. Also, the transmission of Zika and chikungunya has been increased. The 2023 Nobel Prize have been declared. So for chemistry, it is for the quantum research. For physics, it is for attosecond pulse, which has been discovered. For medicine, it is for the mRNA vaccine from US, which has been cited. Those who have received it, the list has been given in. For the literature, it is for the voice to the unsayable. Now, talking about the Longkong village in the eastern Nagaland, which was hit in famine in 1920, the farmers from the Ao Naga community have been sowing in the region. There have been successful harvests which have come back. The Ao and the Sumi Naga communities have followed inter-village assistance during the time of crisis, and this has led to a survival that has been witnessed. Now, there has been some of the common series of crops which have been practices, which is rice, millet, pepper, tomato, brinjal, beans and lentils. There has been zoom cultivation and 2 traditional zoom cultivations, which is the soil being loosened and condensed. Then you have maize, taro, mustard and rice. And then in the lowlands, it is the compact and the porous soil for bean, chili and leguminous crops. Vamekan in Assam, where cash crop farming has replaced the zoom cultivation, there have been definite challenges for the same. Storing seeds is again an interesting aspect. In Nagaland, you have traditional rectangular tires for storing the seeds and agricultural implements as well. This prevents the attack of pathogens, and there is a layer of ash cotton seeds which are stored in terracotta containers, and then there are corn lids and baskets which are also used. So these are some of the traditional ways. Even some of them have been tabooed that for women to avoid misfortune in the village. ABCD for agricultural profit. Now, if we talk about the ABCD, it is the 4 important companies, which is Archer Daniel Midlands, Bunch, Cargill and Lewis Dreyfus companies, which have been important for commodity trading for food products. Now, high food inflation has left food insecurity for millions. In Europe, the profiteering has accounted to 20% of the food inflation. Growing cross-sectoral control for the food system has been important. There has been a spike which has been attributed because of Ukraine-Russia conflict, big agri corporations coming in, and this creates a space and a jump or the boom in the prices in the market. Also, there has been an idea of universal basic income, which has been propounded by Moin Kazi, and this was before the pandemic. There were nearly 70 pilot projects across the world, which have now increased to 161. Local experiments have been working for the same. There have been government relocation of the slums, which is the Wadir Basti, as cash transfer under the work free project. There have been beneficiaries who have been using money for buying the food and adding it to their savings. Cleaner fuel usage have increased from 68% to 84%. The beneficiaries have now cleared the loans and reduced the dependence on money lenders. Odisha has created a Krushak assistance for livelihood, income and augmentation, which is Kalia for farmers, landless farmers and agricultural laborers for income generation. Also, there has been cash transfer schemes which have been started in Madhya Pradesh under the Seva pilot project. There have been assistant professors from School of Management Excellence which have been talking about UBI models and the work that government could do under the UBI models. Now the next is under the Rashtriya Gokul mission. We are talking about giving a thirst to the indigenous breeds and the indigenous species, developing high quality semen to have better female calf birth and semen stations for better growth and reproductive life that could be extended. Graded Gir population, which is a crossbreed of Gir and a nondescript variety, has increased by 22%, known as graded Gir. Sahiwal population has increased significantly from 1.8 to 4.07. There have been an increase in the milk production in Rajasthan in the recent years, and then the milk yield of the graded Gir cow is higher than the indigenous breeds of West Rajasthan. 30% of the calves in India are born without artificial insemination, and that's a really good indicator. We have very few high yielding bovine varieties, and bringing them at a good pace is really important. Now, India has been witnessing a very long-term problem of gender issues and selective sex. Now, here we have seen Haryana, which has been losing the sex ratio at a very fast pace. Under the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme, there was seen that there has been a substantial increase, but this again saw a recent dip. People said it was because of the contraceptive failures, but again, under the 1994 India's Act, it's really a violation which is cognizable and non-bailable. That means arrest can be made without a warrant in case of prenatal diagnosis or early gender detection. There have been cases of abortions which have been allowed earlier within 12 weeks. Now this has been revised to 24 weeks. So there have been various developments in the same light. The list of the gender ratio, if we see, is highest for Tripura and Meghalaya in the northeast, where there is a opposite dowry concept that is popular, and the lowest among the states include Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Himachal, Chandigarh and Goa. The next is EV batteries, electronic vehicles. Now electronic vehicles are decarbonizing the mobility. India does not have enough mineral resources, but for batteries we do need recycling and a recharging station, and also the critical mineral reserves like lithium, which would be required for battery. There have been various plants which have been started, and the idea is to have those loops within the region. Now the lithium ion battery has infinite life if it can be extracted, separated and recycled. India does not have cell manufacturers for lithium. Indian producers fall in the category of battery manufacturers. There has to be a proper dismantling and extraction that must be done. The ingredients must be well defined, and these are some of the major centers where we do have the recycling and the application of lithium ion recycling that could be done. The next is the prime reserves. In just 3 countries, 45% of the copper, cobalt and lithium reserves are concentrated, which includes the important countries which we have marked here. So Congo is known for cobalt production mainly, Chile for copper, and then we have Australia for production of lithium. However, the highest reserves for lithium are seen in the regions of Chile. The next is the global learning curve. Now, with your experience and expertise, we have seen China has incentivized the battery recycling, and therefore there has been a group which has been recycling nearly 1.2 lakh tons of batteries every year. This is a small amount enough to use nearly 2 lakh cars at a go. So definitely recycling of lithium economically should be a viable solution and must be brought at a faster pace. We do have districts where we are talking about financial assistance, for example in Jalgaon for installing drip irrigation. Then we have climate change resilient agricultural structures that must be brought. A project on climate resilient agriculture like Nanaji Deshmukh Krushi Sanjeevani Prakalp is one of the biggest such initiatives. Drip irrigation, shade house, sprinkler irrigations are some of those. Unequal distribution is again one of the major concerns that must be targeted. Then we do have projects which cover 16 of the Maharashtra 36 districts, and the list has been given here. Village climate resilient management committees have been set up by the state in every village where the project has to be implemented. The next is abstract fund. The world's new biodiversity framework fund is without any real financial commitment to meet the conservation rights. World has been working with models to conserve biodiversity, and then we do have global environmental facility working for the same. There has to be increase in the funds through private and government investments, bringing in 4 flagship biodiversity conservation program has been reduced by 38%. Some of the developments under the COP, also under the global environmental facility, the developments over the years have been cited here, which would be available in the handouts. You can just go through that. And then besides that, one of the recent news was the departure of Dr. Swaminathan. We have covered a separate video on that. Zealandia, which has been considered as a separate continent, 94% of it is under sea. Then the protests which have been seen and for the Kaveri disputes in the regions of Karnataka. Highest number of diabetes diagnostic centers have been seen in US and the second highest in India. We have seen a highest number of undiagnosed cases of diabetes, nearly 40% in India. Also, we are focusing on some of the important developments related to World Trade Organization's trade related aspects for intellectual property rights and the amendments for Big Pharma. So those are some of the important things that we have covered. Thanks for joining in today. In case you have any questions or queries, feel free to connect back, and the handouts for the same would be available in the description below. The links for the same would be available in the description below. Have a wonderful evening.